Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor. Welcome to some Battlefield 4 3.0 post-spring patch footage, grinding out the RPK 74M, looking for some optics, because these irons aren't bad, but it kind of blocks your view as you're bouncing around. The vast majority of weapons in Battlefield 4 have changed. Some aren't as good as they once were, and some are much better. And it's not just the weapons that changed, but actually the attachments that changed. So stop what you're doing and basically nuke all your weapons attachments, because we're going to go over a couple of the changes. The flash hider, it doesn't just hide your flash anymore. There's actually some negative side effects to having that on your weapon. And of course, the grips have been touched. Overall, there's been over 2,500 changes to the weapons in Battlefield 4. That's an absolute shit ton. We're talking horizontal, vertical recoils. We're talking first shot multipliers. We're talking how quickly the spread might decrease, how quickly it increases. Nothing has been left unscathed. So the thing I like about the RPK 74M is actually one of the weapons that was buffed from the spring patch. It's now doing 30 max damage, but you're gonna say, X Factor, that's only a 60 headshot. Actually, don't forget there's a 2.13 headshot multiplier on the vast majority of weapons in Battlefield 4, such as the carbines, LMGs, assault rifles, and PDWs. So you're getting almost 64 damage at a headshot at point blank ranges. They did mess with the damage drop off starts with a lot of the weapons. A lot of PDWs now have 20 meters as a damage drop off start. A lot have been buffed in damage or slightly adjusted. And remember, there's that 2.13 headshot multiplier. So PDWs are actually pretty darn strong, up to about 30 or so meters, depending on which PDW we're talking about. So the min damage on this bad boy is 20, which means it's 42.6 at max range. And it's got a really low first shot multiplier of 1.25. Very, very, very easy to handle horizontal recoil. As you see that we switch over to the UMP 45. One of the PDWs that was adjusted just like pretty much every PDW. And there you can see some of the tracers that are in the game now. I talked about that the other day as well. Depending on what class of weapon, your tracers may be larger. Obviously, the LMGs have the largest tracer. It's not just what you see through your crosshair or your optic, but what the enemy players see. So you may be running a suppressor, but they might still be able to see that there's no friendly on the minimap, and there are enemy tracers coming around that corner. So one of the things I like about the RPK 74M is your basic spread is one of the lowest in the game for the LMGs. There's only two that have the same spread. Nothing is lower. And that's the RPK 12, which is very slow shooting, and the U100, another sleeper. An LMG I actually liked before the gun got a little bit of love from the developers over at DICE, and that's got 100 in the mag. So basically the RPK 74M is basically this tap fire beast at long range, which you're going to see because we matched up two different rounds. It's actually a lot of fun to use. But again, be very careful what you have on your weapons and what you put on your weapons. I'm actually taking flash hider off of all my weapons and probably pretty much every grip, because they've adjusted the vast majority of all of them. Everything's got a positive, and it's got a pretty decent negative to it as well. And the things I'm scared of are this: spread increase and slowing my spread decrease. Anything that's going to give me some sort of deviation to my shot, even when I'm standing perfectly still, ADSing, aiming down sight, and shooting. Tap firing, bursting at the right burst at multiple ranges, whatever it may be. So no matter what your favorite gun is or your go-to kits, more than likely they changed drastically. Not just the gun itself, but because of the attachments that you have on that gun, whether it's a compensator, a muzzle brake, or of course me just wanting to hide my silly flash. So we finally unlock the Cobra, and that made that so much better because I can actually see lower than my crosshair and where my optic's at, allowing me to target multiple targets a lot easier. Again, the irons of the RPK 74M aren't horrible, but they also block a lot of your view when you pull it up to your shoulder, basically. So let's talk about angle grip and folding grip. Same thing, right? And this is why these are now bad now in my book, and I don't know what to replace them with, or if I'm going to replace them with anything. A lot of people said, oh, X Factor, you should have been running heavy barrel for the longest time. I simply didn't. The stats can tell you one thing, but if it doesn't work right for you, it's simply not going to work based on your playstyle. Maybe you magged up too much, maybe you don't tap fire enough, burst fire properly, or you're strafing and shooting. If you're doing the wrong things mechanically, no set of attachments is going to really bail you out of that situation. So there's actually going to be a link to Simthic down below so you can check out all the 2,500 plus changes. It's absolutely nuts. But the angle grip, folding grip, your ADS spread decrease is now much slower. So if you have that on there and you're trying to burst fire and tap fire, your spread is decreasing at a slower rate, which is not very helpful. Now remember, a lot of the recoils have been changed. There's been horizontal recoil increases, there's been vertical recoil increases, first shot multipliers have been increased. So you really have to think about that when you strap on your favorite couple kits, or you're looking for a sleeper like the RPK 74M. How's it played naked? What do you think you need help with? Do you need help taming that recoil, that horizontal recoil, which is very hard to deal with? Or is a vertical recoil easy enough for you to manage? Because if you start slapping stuff on there, it's going to start affecting your spread. And this is from the second round where we've got Hurricane Bomber, one of the Wookiees in here with a Mav above me, trying to help me make callouts because the enemy team at any point in time had 3 or 4 Mavs out. It was absolutely nuts. And we're trying to hold this left flank because our team had already gotten flanked a couple times. So I'm trying to shut that down. So here's another example. The flash hider. Remember that spread decrease? It's now slower as well. So if you have that flash hider and angle grip on there, oh my gosh, your spread's never going to disappear. Of course, that's a gross exaggeration, but that's giving you an idea of what's drastically changed. I do run angle grip on 2 of my weapons. Not anymore. I'm now going to be pulling off flash hider on everything. More than likely, heavy barrel might be going back on. I don't know what grip I'm going to run. I might not run any grip on the vast majority of the weapons because vertical recoil, again, is very easy to tame. And a lot of times, horizontal recoil could be dealt with by simply tap firing. So don't forget to pick up your favorite weapons. There are going to be a couple sleeper weapons, such as the U100, that's going to be featured on this channel. This one right here, the RPK 74M, a couple assault rifles, and of course I've been having a lot of fun with PDWs. You're going to see a couple of those in episodes of Squad Up over this weekend. As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and don't forget to check out the links down below and enjoy sifting through that data bomb. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.